Computer, power on.
Power on.
So, starting a YouTube channel, will it work? Can I go the distance? Am I too late to the game? Will anybody even see these videos? Can I stay consistent? All these questions floating around in my mind. You see, I've been fascinated by cameras my whole life, ever since I can remember. This notion that I could save what I was seeing and hearing, hitting that big red button and seeing those letters appear inspired this sort of like feeling within me when I saw that. I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world, that we're literally capturing what we're seeing and hearing. We're capturing our consciousness. That's what's happening. As a child, honestly, it was really mind-blowing for me. It became my world. All these little captures were making pieces to a puzzle. Puzzle pieces, when assembled, can make somebody feel something, can make somebody think something, can make somebody understand something, change their perspective on something. The ability to induce an emotion into somebody that you've never met, to let someone comprehend what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes through a medium, through an art form of capturing sound and light and then assembling it in such a way to tell a story, and in that moment you're totally distracted from your own self, your own ego. That, it dawned on me like, holy applesauce, this is the ultimate superpower, to share the grandeur of this thing called being a human, really. And it's all become so accessible. It's not like when I first started in this journey, I was recording onto like little mini DV tapes back in the day. The first video camera I ever used recorded directly to a VHS, believe it or not. Some of you watching this might not even know or ever even seen a VHS tape. Now we have an ability to be interconnected, to share and comment and like, have this greater narrative in the snap of a finger. Anybody can make videos, anybody can start a channel. Independent production has never been better in this day and age. I want to be a part of this sensation, because I think the real special thing about YouTube is that community interaction, right? So this is me taking a shot at being vulnerable and putting myself on camera to try this crazy world out. So the first line of business is getting a desk recording setup going. So whenever the moment of inspiration hits, I can flick on the camera and start rolling without too much prep or setup. Oh yeah, I've already actually rigged up some mounts at the back. We're gonna plug this, so boom, that's gonna go in there. Extend this a little bit, kind of just like that, through the mixer over here, because we're going to run the feed out of the mixer into the camera. Cable management, story of my life. It's probably like 20 feet. Boom, that's going into the mixer. Small HD monitor, something like that. Last piece of the puzzle. So now we're connected. Okay, now we're rolling on the GH5, and you can see everything that I've just set up. Let me see if I can tweak the settings a bit. Very bright, there we go. There we go. Maybe that's where we want it. You can see what a difference this little light makes here. I'll shut it off. Right? And I'll turn it back on. This will be the setup moving forward for now. Alrighty, so now that I've transferred some of my old files from my archives, I can show you guys the progression of my spaces. I'll focus on starting at 2010. While this defining period of my life really needs an entire movie of its own, we'll keep it focused to the evolution of my production spaces. At the time, I was just a student attending university here in Toronto, and I lived with my best friends in this tiny house in Chinatown. And I would record and vlog everything I could. All the antics and ups and downs, all the life-defining moments. I have hours of tapes.
It's a small bedroom, but it fits a lot.
Long before vlogging was ever popularized. This was my space. I lined every square inch of my walls with vinyl records, album covers, posters, music, art, poetry, and anything else that was a source of creative inspiration for me. It was the moments, the people, the attitudes, the city. This was my stage. This was my studio, and this was my story at the time. My personal space was my creative sanctuary among all the madness in this period. By the time 2014 rolled around, I was well on my way to being fully invested in the world of video production. I had been doing professional video production for a couple years now as I started my business in 2012, quickly building out my arsenal of production tools. But I was largely focused on the tech and acquiring the skills needed to put content creation at the center of my world. By 2016, I was at a comfortable enough point, building out my arsenal of gear, my skill set, and saving as much money as I could to move back into the heart of the city in the annex here in Toronto. So the place I moved into was a very unique house. It had high ceilings and a very unique aesthetic. It was bright, it was beautiful, it offered enough space for shooting inside, and provided separate areas for my desk setup, with a great outdoor backyard space, big windows, and bedrooms as well. So we arrive at 2018, where I was finally at a point to find a space to call my own. I moved into a live-work loft setup here in the entertainment district, where I currently reside almost 3 years later. This was my desk setup in the first year I moved in. A custom tabletop outfitted with IKEA supports, and I've been optimizing ever since. Now at this point in my career, I had accomplished quite a bit, finding myself in interesting places and situations over the years, doing client work for brands, businesses, agencies, artists, and professionals. But of course, the past 10 years hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, and a story wouldn't be complete without a bit of conflict and heartache. And sadly, there's been much of that along the way as well. Honestly, it's been a messy past few years of ups and downs. In order to try to find some fight again and to find my way, I had to really dig and remember my truths. The intrinsic joy and passion for light, sound, capture, story, perspective, connection, all the things I explained in the beginning. And in a single moment, I had this realization that I've been optimizing and building myself towards a career in YouTube my whole life without even really consciously realizing it, and that everything and every choice in my life has led me to this moment right now. So here we are, arriving at late 2020, where the fight for self-actualization continues, and I've now completed my newly re-optimized space, and I'm ready to share the final product with you all now. So here it is. point. I'm pretty happy. I set up all the lights in the background now, the light bars, as you can see. I've dialed everything in as much as I could. I think this is a great starting point, and I'm super excited to get going now that the recording setup is finished, at least for now. The journey to now has been a wild ride. I've spent the last 10 years really hustling in this industry, and I've built myself to this point that I now have all the tools to create, where I do have a space to call my own. So for a channel, I really want to explore the world of creating interior atmospheres that evoke a sense of feeling, evoke a sense of excitement in your own space. So we're gonna do this through exploring the world of consumer products, through the use of smart technology, through cool lights, funky lighting, through futuristic decor, to achieve these feelings of excitement and imagination, to really take your space to the next level in terms of the feelings it's able to create. So subscribe to my channel and let's take this journey together. Check back, keep me accountable. I'm open. I want to inspire a sense of community. I want to connect with like-minded individuals who share the same passions as I do. Follow me from the start and let's see how this spiral unfolds. Okay, so here are the star projectors now. The items have arrived. So yeah, this one has like a bunch of buttons and stuff. Bliss skylights here have these nice tactile big buttons. This guy, cheapest of the bunch. It has these kind of like, I assume they're gonna be like touch buttons. First and foremost, let's see if they turn on, right? Okay. This one has so many features that I don't know, like how good could it be if it's trying to be a speaker and a light show and a laser show and all these things, right? Like, this is the most expensive and it does the least. Oh yeah. I mean, I see them, the camera's not really picking it up. Hold on, let me shut off all the lights. Computer, turn off everything. Well, mostly everything. These two lights aren't hooked up, but for the sake of pretending, I can see the small laser beam lights here. You guys can kind of see them. So we're back. As you can see, everything is a bit hazy now. That's because we sprayed a bunch of this stuff to try and see some laser beams. I once made a short film where we had a more powerful laser and we used smoke to get this cool effect. So what we're gonna do with this setup here is we're gonna test the capabilities of each one of the star projectors from the same distance onto this gray backdrop here. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow us to gauge the brightness level by using the camera as a tool. So I'm gonna leave the camera settings the same through each, see what different effects they have, see what they can do. Let's take a look. So turning on the Bliss skylight. I think everything is static in this first mode, it looks like. Okay, the next mode seems to just turn it off, it looks like. This looks to be like just the graphic. Oh, okay, and we can make I guess we can make the pattern move on all those modes. Oh, the lasers rotate too, look at that. Oh, the last button is the brightness level of the whole thing, I assume. Okay, so here's a side-by-side comparison of all three star projectors. They've all been shot with the exact same camera settings. And from this analysis, we're able to see the different patterns the projectors put out. As well, it's very telling from this shot, from this analysis, that the Bliss light is by far the most powerful in terms of light output. Okay, so for these final shots, we have these star projectors now being used in a practical environment, such as a bedroom or a living room. As these shots are playing, I'll give you the overview on what I think about each one of the projectors. Okay, so starting off with the Moon Graphic star projector, obviously the main thing is it has a moon graphic that's tied together with the lasers. It can do a red, green, or blue pattern, or it has that additional color cycle mode where it will flash through all the color modes and add a couple more mixed colors. It does have a built-in battery, which I actually found to be quite handy, quite useful. I wish all the projectors had the battery. but just this one does. And of course, all three projectors have the ability to isolate the lasers themselves or isolate the light pattern if you prefer that, or you can stop the motion, the movement on any of these modes as well. So for the Bliss Skylight, in my mind, it has one of the cleanest looking patterns. It has a mode where you can fade the patterns in and out. It also has tactile buttons, which make it super simple to use in the dark. As well, you can control the light output brightness if you'd like to dim it a bit if it's too bright on its default mode. Okay, and lastly, we have the spaceship or the starship light projector, as I've been referring to it. So this is feature packed with a ton of different color modes. You can combine any variation of red, green, blue, or white, or you can fade through different color modes. It has a wide projection angle that will cover a large surface area, but you'll have to keep it in the center of the room or the center of wherever you want it projecting to, because it does project upward. Starship light projector works a little differently. It seems to keep the projection going even if it doesn't hear sound, but then when it does hear loud sound, it will change the pattern, kind of like you're seeing with me clapping here. Oh! Lighting good. Lights are on. Check, check, check. Lighting displays, funky lights, neon lights. Cut. Take two. This is the FUTURESPACE Collective. In today's video, we're taking a look at Article. They are an online furniture company specializing in modern, mid-century, and Scandinavian design. I ordered the Sven Charm Tan sofa. Let's get started. So I personally was looking for a bit of a smaller couch to use in my space because my space is designed in a modular fashion where I'm constantly shifting around furniture and stuff to do videos, to do photo shoots, and that was a part of the reason why I chose to go with the leather finish, because in my mind, you can keep the leather finish a lot cleaner, you can wipe it down. It reflects light, it has more texture, and over time the leather is going to get more worn down, and it's only going to add and look better, in my opinion, as the couch gains more soul. Do not order the inside and assembly on the Sven sofa couch. I made that mistake. I got dinged 170 bucks, as you can see right here, because the sofa comes assembled already. So literally the guys bring it up and they told me, yeah, you know, if you order again, don't pay for the assembly on the couch because all it is screwing in the 4 legs to the couch. So literally the guys dropped it off and they screwed in the 4 feet or legs, whatever you want to call them, to the couch. We all had a good laugh about it and they went on their way. If I could go back, I would definitely not pay for that and I would just screw in the legs myself, as the couch did come in 1 full piece. I really do love this couch. I'm 1 year in and it's held up great. The quality's held up. I have nothing but good things to say about the quality and the build of it. You can tell it's well made. You know, and a part of the reason I chose this couch was because I wanted to use it, not only in my videos, but for the space and in my photo shoots and stuff. So whenever I'm doing a photo shoot, I love to use this couch when taking photos. Here's a few photos on screen here as well. I've done many shoots with it under more low-key lighting style, being where most of the frame is darker. So neon has a really unique appeal to it to me. It's hard to find something that looks like it. It creates a really interesting glow. And I just love it. I love the look of it. And a lot of photo studios are doing this. There's one in Toronto, not too far away from me, that I've yet to check out, but it looks amazing. It's called Neon Demon Studio. There's been many videos featured on it. And this guy's got a huge neon collection. Needless to say, that's provided some inspiration in decorating my own studio space here. And the neon signs definitely come in handy to not only add ambient light and kind of add to the whole mood of things. They do that in a large way, but they also are helpful for photography, and they work really well in backgrounds. They really add a lot to the visual aesthetic to the shot. So it's just a look that I love, and it's become largely a part of my own photography style as well, if you have a look at my work. Now, today is a very special day because the channel has hit a small milestone. We're now at 100 subscribers. Cue the happy dance. Do the happy dance later. Today, we're gonna be looking at AUKEY table lamps. Every single one of them I could buy on Amazon, I've bought. And here they all are now. Oh! There's a button on the bottom here that I've clicked to turn it on. This is totally real first impressions. I'm thinking we click it again. So it went from like a daylight to what we call like a tungsten light. It's got a more yellowish tinge to it. Oh, it's changing colors now. So yeah, we have the smaller guy, you know, taking out on the go, throw it in your backpack, great for parties, great for whatever, really camping, a multitude of situations that could arise. This light is a great option. Welcome everyone to the channel. I bet you most people that order this have no idea, but small tip, there is a protective film. Oh, this is the most satisfying part. Oh. So how do we balance this thing? This is so light. Let me go get it. Let me go get it. Hopefully we didn't just damage our floating earth here. So let's unwrap it, shall we? See how this goes? I mean, it looks to be mostly accurate. Put the floating body on a horizontal place. If the place is obviously not on level or it is made of iron, all will influence the normal working of the product. I should just start a YouTube channel reading these poorly written instructions. I don't. Let's not do that again.
Did I just break it already? No. Okay, we need to get it floating. There we go. And now we're just gonna slowly pull this out. Okay, we did it!
Okay, you know what? I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. It looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks a lot better than I thought it would. Okay, let's try to straighten it out here. Try to straighten it out. Slowly, let's slowly give it a spin. Beautiful. Love it. Look at this. Look at this. You know, really, if you think about it, we're just floating around on a rock, on a giant rock called Earth, made of many different elements, if you will. And it kind of just hovers in space, kind of like this. You guys seeing this? I feel like I'm performing a magic trick or something.
Whoa, buddy!
Just floating on me. Wow. I like it. I love it. It's gonna spin. It's really cool. I'm curious, what do you guys think? Is this something you would buy? Is this a piece of decor you would invest in? Okay, it has arrived. Magnetic levitation display for your coveted sneakers. All you sneakerheads out there. Shrink wrap on the scale. Oh, it's actually quite a nice little scale. I don't know what this thing is for. But here's the powerful magnet. Okay. Wow. Okay, let's just maybe leave that there for a second. Please set the product on a level table, otherwise it won't levitate normally. It could be a bit better level, to be honest, but Okay, but let's plug in and the LED will light up before. All right, let's plug it in. Let's see what we got going on here. Power into the unit. It lights up. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So this shoe is sitting at 497 grams. What if we take the shoe tree out and we're sitting closer to 450, honestly, with the shoe tree in. Hold the shoe in your right hand in the auxiliary block. All right, here's the auxiliary block. Oh, something like booting up. You guys seen this happen live? All right, all right. So just to take it out, oh my goodness. We're definitely not level, so that could be screwing it up quite a bit. Very, very interesting. This is so weird. There's my rotating. So I've had some time to use the display, I've let it run for a few days, and here are my final thoughts and review of the product. So who is this for and what would you use it for? So this product is absolutely great if you're a sneakerhead, a sneaker collector, if you're enthusiastic or passionate about shoes or sneakers. This really is a must-have piece. It's also great for retail stores. You know, I could really see it flying if there were 10 of these in a display window, something like that. I think it would really catch people's eyes and bring them into the store. Or if you're trying to sell your own sneakers or your own shoe product, I think it's a great way to create content for marketing, for advertising. You know, it's great as a video background. It's great as decor in the home if you're into this kind of thing. But I find one of the recurring questions that I get asked is, what are these kind of light bars in the background of my videos? So here the lights are now. They're made by a company called Kane TV, and they specialize in professional photo video products. These particular lights are part of their Andromeda series. As well, they have a ton of extra features, add-ons, controls, and mounting points that make them super practical for photo video use. Here's a few various shots of them being used here in my LiveWorks studio on a recent photo shoot. As you can see, they're super practical and you can use them as visible lights in the background or to light subject matters themselves. Here's a few more images that use these particular lights for self-portraits that I've done. Wow, look at this little silk bag. Wow, it's got some good weight to it. It feels pretty well built. Whoa. So just upon first look here, we have what appears to be a button on one end of the light. And the other end of the light has a tripod mounting thread, which is super useful if you want to mount it and use it. So we're gonna turn it back to just a normal daylight. We're gonna go max on both. Oh, no, not police sirens, just normal daylight. We're gonna max out both of the lights. Wow, these are just super, super cool. Like they feel good. They're totally waterproof. They're battery powered, they do all the colors. They basically do everything I could ask for. Purple and this sort of teal color. I can see a whole bunch of different use factors for them. So you can totally use these as photo video lights with your cell phone or professional camera. They would be great in the field. They're waterproof, they're durable, and they have a ton of different effects. And you know what? Upon some further research, I found out they also make this same light in a 4-foot version called the P120. Links to both of those models are down below in the description. So you can use the lights for anything really. Entertainment, creativity, content creation, decor, traveling, hiking, camping, in a pool, in a lake. You know, there's so many situations I can see having this particular light being useful. They also make an absolute great tool if you've ever tried long exposure light painting photography, where the shutter drags and basically it captures the streaks of light as we move the light around. Hey, you guys like my socks? Huh? Snazzy? Okay, so we finally have opened this thing up. I gotta tell you, I've had better unboxing experiences. Look at this styrofoam they just kind of stuffed in. I don't know if that, let's just keep that all together because I don't see any reason to go in there. But okay, so what do we got? We have our floating bulb. We have the power brick AC adapter, and we have the lamp itself. Actually, let's first let's unwrap the bulb here. Yeah, let's plug this thing. Make sure you select the correct outlet whenever you're ordering electronics, especially from AliExpress. Learn from my mistakes. Now, Oh, first try, no problem. And we're off to the races. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Let's shut off our backlight here. Okay, so here we have it now. It's all plugged in. It's pretty cool. I have to say, I do love this piece. I love all these floating magnetic pieces. I will say it does not give off very much light at all. Just more of a background light, decorative. You're not getting a lot of light output from it, but it is a really neat piece. There's no wires, there's nothing. It's just, there is power somehow going through this empty space. I don't know, it blows my mind. What do you guys think of it? So this guy floats and spins as well, but it's a different style. So we've brightened up the exposure a bit so you guys can see the lights better. They are different pieces, they're both decorative, they're both super cool. Personally, I like this one. I keep it on top of my speaker because it kind of makes it look like a tube amp kind of thing. I love that this one's kind of got a spiral filament inside, whereas this one's more of a geometrical, kind of like a pyramid shape filament inside the bulb itself. So this is what we're looking at. It's made by a company called Apeman. So I feel like it's made for me. But yeah, the Apeman LC350 is what we're looking at here. Pretty protected in this air padding. You know, I wish I could just wrap my entire body in this stuff and just like go float around in a river or something. Side note. Okay guys, so I've set up a roll of photo paper to use as our projector screen to test everything out. From this, I can give a demo of the projector in action, as well share the strengths and weaknesses that I've found while using it, and wrap everything up with a final thought. So first off, the connections and specifications. As you saw earlier, this projector has a multitude of inputs and outputs to connect all of your devices. So in terms of actually using the projector, turning it on, as you can see, it has a pretty good user interface. I was pleasantly surprised. The menus were well designed and it was all pretty easy to navigate. The included remote is also laid out pretty well. So moving on to the image quality now, this is actually a quite bright projector at a rated 4000 lumens, which you typically find that on more expensive models. So in terms of the actual projected image quality itself, listen, I'll say this about it. For the price you're paying, it's probably one of the best images you can buy. So based on what's available in this price point, we really need to take that into consideration when judging our image. No, it's not going to be winning any awards for its image quality, and I found it didn't do great with text given it is a lower resolution image. So some situations off the top of my head is this would be absolutely great for kids, for a kid's room, for a kid's party. It would be great for teens. It would be great in a dorm room, in college life. It's great for gaming or low action games where you need to play with a group of people. It's got tons of inputs and ports of every type. Connect your laptop, or you can easily turn this into a smart projector by connecting a Chromecast or something of that nature. So here we have them now, a blue, a red, and a green. So we're looking at the BLISSBULB by BLISSLIGHTS. One of our fellow community members here had reached out to me and told me about how great these light bulbs are. They are just simple light bulbs that you screw into a socket. Let's check them out. So this video tour comes to us courtesy of fellow FUTURESPACE Collective member Ian Rosano, who reached out to me telling me about all the wonders and uses for the Bliss bulbs that we're exploring today, and he shared some inspiration for lighting and mood setting. He has decorated his home exterior and interior using various lighting techniques that we'll explore in many future videos, including using the BLISSLIGHTS Bliss bulb and the BLISSLIGHTS Skylight projector. He also looks to have quite the hi-fi stereo setup as well, with what looks to be a dedicated amp for each one of his speakers. By projecting the lasers through various objects and glass, he's able to create some pretty interesting and wild patterns. I've listed in the description below some of the items that Ian uses to create the lighting and effects that you see in the video. If you at home watching has put a lot of hard work into lighting and decorating your own space and you want to be featured in a video, or if you feel you have something worthwhile to share that fits in the theme here at the FUTURESPACE Collective, please feel free to get in touch with me. I've listed a few methods of contact in the description below. A huge thanks goes out to Ian for sharing this tour of your lighting optimized home for others to pull some ideas and inspiration from. So I hope you enjoyed watching how he's used these laser bulbs in a very creative way. You would plug these into a typical home lamp outlet and they would work great outdoors or indoors. So if you're new to lasers, you should know that you can't actually see the beams, the laser beams themselves, because just like light, we can only see the light when it hits an object, when it hits a surface, right? So as they're coming through the air, you can't actually see the beams of light until they hit something, in this case, my hand. Now, when we spray a bunch of this stuff, which is essentially fog in a can used for photo video applications, we should be able to see the laser beams. Now, I'll be able to see them here in the studio. I don't know how well this comes off on camera, but let's see if I shut off all the lights in the studio. Perhaps we can see some laser beams, the laser beams of light here. Oh, there we go. There we go. So you can see the laser beams now. When I blow the smoke, you can see that, like I said before, when lasers, I'm really smoking the room out here, but when lasers hit an object, in this case the fog in the room, you can actually see all the beams of light. So now it's coming through on the camera. It doesn't come through as well if we shine it up. You really have to, it comes through better if we shine it at the camera, but in real life, I can actually see all these beams in any direction, but so cool, so neat. I wouldn't advise you guys to shine lasers at your camera because it's not good for the sensor, but I'm taking one for the team here just to show you how cool lasers are and laser light bulbs. So I'm gonna change it out here for the green bulb. Boom. So now we got green and red. And as our fog is dying, the beams of light are dying as well a little bit, but the point is really not to see the beams of light. That's just a cool side note, taking my knowledge of lighting and showing you guys something cool, but really you're supposed to just put these in a lamp or outside, wherever you want, wherever you need to add a bit of color, a bit of texture with lighting, spruce things up a bit. These are an excellent way to do that. Listen, if you guys need a very simple microphone for podcasting, voice conferencing, you want to get into YouTube, do YouTube videos, whatever the case may be, we might have found an all-in-one solution within this package here that really ticks all the boxes. So this is what we're looking at upon first opening our box here. This is what we're looking at with all of the accessories in the package here. So it comes with a shock mount. It comes with the clamp to clamp it to your desk, the arm, the microphone, the shock mount to hold the microphone. And it also comes with what look like alien antennas. No, I think this is just a little tripod if you'd like to not mount the microphone, but you want to just have it on your table. They give you absolutely everything you could want for a microphone accessory. These are rubber strings for the replacement rubber strings, I guess, for the microphone shock mount right here. So we've got a ton of stuff here. So let's take it all out of the box. Here's the microphone arm right here. Spring loaded. I have a really good feeling about this product. It's so feature packed. They literally give you everything you need in a kit. I mean, if you were to go and buy all of this stuff, and get like really high-end stuff, you would be buying all these pieces separately. You'd be buying the pop screen separately, you'd be buying the arms separately, an extra little windscreen protector here from obscuring any sounds or whispers. This protects from any air getting into the microphone and kind of messing up the recording. And then again, if you want to go one step further, we can put on the pop screen here. The pop screen is another little clamp that I'm guessing we can just clamp into our arm here. All right, look at that, guys. Woo! It also has a tripod if you just want to connect it to there. This is another way to connect the microphone if you want to use the tripod. Let's test this thing out. Let's plug in the USB cable and see how difficult it is to connect. Okay, I'm gonna grab my laptop. Okay, so I'm gonna record my laptop screen so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna plug the microphone in for the first time. I have no idea what's gonna happen. This is a Windows laptop. So let's test out and see what happens. So we plugged in the microphone. As you can see, Windows is simply just says setting up a device. We're setting up your USB audio device. All right, there we go. Now our device is ready to roll. So now I'm just talking into my lavalier mic right now. And now you're gonna hear what it sounds like through this microphone. Test 1, 2. Now I'm talking through this microphone, and you can, as I would assume, hear a huge quality difference in talking into a large diaphragm condenser microphone like this versus the lavalier microphone, which is obviously a less superior way of capturing audio, but of course we don't have this monstrosity microphone in our shot. So I'm assuming this microphone is sounding pretty good right about now, pretty buttery smooth. I mean, look at it. It comes with all the pieces you need. It comes with everything at such a great price point. This is one of the most inexpensive microphones that I've found here on the market. That really kind of checks all the boxes and makes it super simple for anybody to get started. This is a great microphone. There's a dial on the actual microphone itself as well, and you can control the input audio level with this dial. Okay guys, so now I've unplugged the microphone. We're back on my lav mic. But you know, I really don't have any bad things to say about this setup. I mean, for the cost of it, I'm absolutely mind blown. I gotta tell you, like, I've been in the audio world for quite a number of years. I've studied a bit of audio engineering and sound design. It's the price that's getting me of how cheap that it comes with all of these accessories here. Well, that's what we're looking at. Look at this box. Woo! I bought this product from AliExpress, which means it's coming direct from the supplier in China. The advantages to doing this are, yes, it will be the most cost-effective place to buy products from. However, if you are buying them from China, the downside is they're probably gonna take 2 to 3 weeks to get to you. The customer service is not nearly as quick, snappy, and helpful as Amazon. And when the items arrive, they sometimes tend to look like this. Like I said, I own one already. I keep it on top of my speaker because I think it looks super, super cool on top of the speaker. It's supposed to rotate, plugging it in below here. So basically it has to be plugged in if you are going to levitate it. And it can be a bit tricky. Thankfully, I do have some experience because I already own one of these. Let's see how this one. It can take a few tries to sort of get it balanced. You'll kind of feel it grab. There. I'll try to lift it up. This usually is a recipe for disaster and it will fall, but I just want to show you guys that it is indeed floating. And you can see that there with my head in the back, that it is indeed floating. So there you have it. It is floating. I'm kind of wobbling it. You can see how it works. Let's put it back down. Like I said, it can be a bit of a trick to levitate these. So they both have touch power on buttons. This is what we're looking at. This is my original moon lamp that I owned. This is the new one that just came in. Let's shut off our backlight here to get the full effect. I am just totally mesmerized by these 3D printed floating magnetic levitating moon lamps. I think they're just so cool. They have such a unique aesthetic. So there you guys have it now. The magnetic levitating floating moon lamps, whatever you want to call them. They're an absolute awesome piece of decor. They're very unique, they're very eclectic. You don't see them too often in people's homes. And once people start realizing that they're floating, they usually do a double take. And I can't tell you how much attention this little moon lamp has attracted. If you're interested in decorating your space with some really futuristic looking decor, funky lights, smart home technology, art, all of these things meshed together, creating atmosphere, setting a vibe, then this is the channel for you, and you should absolutely subscribe because we're gonna explore the world of products for imagination and really uncover all there is out there to bring your space into the future. Computer, turn off key light.